So, exciting toy news. Very exciting for me. So, for those who know, they know. For those who don't know, though, shut up. I'm still tired and sick. Shut the fuck up. While I'm not big on, the current Power Ranger stuff and many of the seasons that I missed over the years, we talked about this before, that I do watch a lot of Super Sentai, and my favorite Sentai series of all time, Gosei Sentai Dairanger. The original Mighty Morphin White Ranger and the Thunderzords and the Tiger Zord for the White Ranger were all taken from Dairanger and adapted into the second season of Power Rangers. However, they kept using the suits from the previous series, and they had to do a bunch of new scenes shot and mishmash and a bunch of stuff and whatever else, but that's beside the point. The point I'm making is the Thunderzords have finally gotten a Legacy series release. So the Legacy series is basically a more high-end collectible Power Rangers series, wherein in most cases a brand new sculpt of a toy with a lot of like die-cast metal parts and shit like that, based on one of the old toys, right? So for example, it started off with the Legacy Power Morpher, right? Which was an upscaled replica of the Morpher used by the Power Rangers.
Ben is hungry.
Ben is hungry. An upscaled version of the Morpher used by the Power Rangers, Morphin' time, right? That whole thing.
Yeah.
With new electronics, new metal coins, new metal faceplates for it instead of like plastic and everything else, right?
The coins with like that, the animals on it.
Yeah. So I got that, of course. I got the Legacy Morpher. They've since done a gold Legacy Morpher for the Green Ranger and White Ranger. They've done a movie Legacy Morpher, which is all super fucking shiny and looks like the ones that they used in the movie, which was just kind of weird.
As a kid, I loved Power Rangers, and I loved that movie. I even saw it in theaters, and I had it on VHS. I never noticed that the Morphers were like shinier.
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed that.
Well, not only were they shinier, the design of them was different. Like, they were the same Morpher, but instead of, Power Rangers written around the area where the coin goes in,
right,
and having black striping along the sides with a little zigzaggy kind of whatevers, they instead had the circle and the zigzaggy things in the color of the Ranger with nothing written on it.
Oh.
They were set in the belt buckle piece, so they never actually opened them.
Right.
And you only ever saw the Morphers once, and then they had the coin in it, and the coin came out, and then you had a fucking pose, whatever, right?
Right.
But yeah, so they replicated that with the movie Morpher. But they've only got one version out, and it's the White Ranger. So you can get the, I think the Tiger coin and the Falcon coin with it. It's the only one that actually has the Falcon coin, so that's kind of cool. Falcon Zord, by the way, is going to be the next Legacy release. Cool shit. But, so yeah, they started off with the Legacy Morpher. They've done the Legacy Dragon Dagger, which is like the Green Ranger's little flute knife thing.
Yeah.
Flute knife. Call it a flute knife from now on. Flife.
That sounds like a dirty word.
It really does. And of course I've got that as well. They recently released the Legacy Blade Blaster, which was the sidearm of the Power Rangers. It was a little gun that also was a little sword type thing.
Right.
And I mean, it's got flip out blades, sound effects, shit like that. I really want to get it. They also did Legacy Saba, the white tiger saber thing for the White Ranger.
Did the saber talk sometimes?
Yes, it did.
Yeah,
Saba talked. They actually got the voice actor to come in and record new lines for it, which is pretty great. You press a button and the mouth starts moving and he starts talking and shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's that fucking big. It's huge, right? When you're comparing it to the toys that were fucking that big or whatever for kids, right? And then you get fucking 1-to-1 scale fucking Saba replica. Need to get that still too. Very cool. But they've also done new versions of the old Megazords. So you get fucking now they started off with the original dinosaur Megazord, with like metal parts and new paint job and new stickers and shit like that. But it was based on the, because you remember I mentioned last time that in 2010 they did sort of a revamp of the original series with like new transitions and effects and a few different things added and whatnot. So for that line they also released a new version of the Megazord, which was a little more show accurate, right? So it was a new mold, compatible with their Zord Builder set that they were working on at that point, which basically everything has compatible ports and pegs, so you can like mix and match all the shit from all the seasons.
Right.
So they made this compatible with the Zord Builder system, and released it, and it was all right. And then they took that one, made some of the parts out of metal instead of plastic, gave it new, even better stickers that were shiny and cool and whatnot, and new paint and whatever, and we're like, boom, Legacy Megazord, right? And now it's been outdone on every level by every release after it, because instead of stickers, they all have raised painted details and shit now, so they're like so much better. But like, for example, the Megazord, which was the next one to come out, has full-on like molded detail everywhere there was stickers on the original. It looks amazingly show accurate and a lot more like the suit that the on-screen actor was wearing for like, you know, the fight scenes and whatnot. It looks a lot more like that than it did like the actual toy or miniature that they used for like sequences.
Yeah.
So looks fantastic. Fucking tail, which was originally like, you know, this and then a second segment and then the whole thing, is now like a bunch of different individually molded segments that you can stretch out or contract.
Oh, it even has like the little like it like pops to stretch.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
so I knew that it was like almost spiny.
Yeah.
But
so
cool.
that's so on the Megazord, that's what they have, and then they used the same kind of thing for Titanus, the Ultrazord, which is like a big fucking Brachiosaurus that the Megazord combined to the Megazord could like sit in and become like, you know, this big ultimate, their Ultrazord, right?
Yeah.
And Titanus's neck, because it was a Brachiosaurus, could also like also had the segments that could like move around and shit. And everyone was hoping that if they ever did the Thunder Megazord, that the Red Dragon would have that for the head and tail.
Yeah.
Which it does.
Nice.
Which is fucking awesome. But yeah, we weren't sure that they were going to do a Thunder Megazord. Eventually, though, they released the Legacy Tigerzord. Alright? Tigerzord also pulled from Die Ranger, so of course I had to have that because fuck yeah, Die Ranger. They released the Tigerzord, and everyone was like, okay, does this mean they're going to be doing the Thunder Megazord? Right? Yeah, I'm getting to that. So, when it was released, people found out that it had all of the transformation and Zord Builder ports and everything else necessary to combine it with a Thunder Megazord if they did make one. Mm-hmm. So they're asking Bandai at conventions and shit like that. They're like, hey, so Thunder Megazord coming next? And they're like, you know, we've heard that people want that. So we designed the Tigerzord with the ability to combine with it if we ever did decide to make it. And yeah, we're doing it.
Nice.
And I was like, fuck yeah. Because Daireno, the Thunder Megazord, right, in Japan, in Die Ranger, he was Daireno, their giant fucking robot. Easily one of my favorites in all of fucking Sentai history. Probably Daireno favorite, Gokaio second favorite, and I think probably Deca Ranger Robo my third favorite. Because it was smaller than most of them, but it was also a lot more maneuverable than you tend to see. Obviously, the toy was still really bulky and couldn't really move, but like in the show, it was a lot like it was like a slimmed down robot. Like it wasn't, you know, your big fucking bulky fight monster kind of robot. Yeah, it was fucking rolling around and shooting its gun and all this other shit. It was pretty fucking cool. But yeah, so Daireno with its giant fucking sword and its awesome, like, its finishing attack was literally like it just boom, charged energy in the sword, brought it up, slashed down, and like cut through fucking anything. Big crazy like electricity and all this other shit. And it had like a fucking like old style like Japanese painting behind it of like mountains and waves and shit. That's when cool. when it was charging up and then would cut. Always looked fucking awesome. And I really liked the sword too. The sword looked pretty fucking cool. So the Legacy version is out now, so we can finally see what all it actually does. So that's how we can now confirm, yeah, the fucking neck and tail of the dragon fucking move all crazy all the way around. It's insanely show detailed, right? Like the original Power Rangers version that we got, which I never had and always wanted because it was fucking cool, but I was also at that age where, like, not liking the Power Rangers was the cool thing to do, so I was like, oh, fuck that shit, right? Like, I don't give a shit about that. Went deep down, I was like, dude, I fucking want that, that's awesome, right? I tried too much to please other people back in the day. Obviously, I don't do that now, because now I'm just like, no, fuck it, I want that,
yeah.
Right? I don't give a shit what people think. But it had stickers of, like, the Power Rangers signature lightning bolt detail, like, all over fucking everything, and they changed the color of the lion's head, because in Die Ranger they didn't have a Black Ranger, they had a Green Ranger,
yeah,
right? And his mecha was the lion. So the lion, as it moved along, had, like, a green face, green, like, striping along and whatnot, yeah. And even in Power Rangers it had all that. But when it came time to release the toy, they're like, well, I mean, technically this is the Black Ranger Zord, so we're going to, make it black instead, even if it's not quite show accurate, because, hey, we're slapping these fucking lightning bolts on it and everything anyways.
Yeah.
So there was that. There was a few plastic colors changed. Basically, it just didn't look very show accurate by comparison to the Japanese one. So if I was going to get it, I would want to get the Japanese one, but there's a price tag of, $400, $500 fucking dollars to get.
Jesus.
I mean, it was released in '93. Right? So we're at, like, 2016 now, so fucking it's been off the market for how fucking long, plus, demand from collectors and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So this Legacy version, I'm not sure what the Canadian retail on it is. I think it's probably about $250. Right? Which is considerably more reasonable to me, plus it looks more show accurate. The paintwork is great. The fucking sword is, like, the blade's chromed. The hilt is silver with a gold handle.
Yeah.
It fits into, like, an ornately detailed fucking gold, picking out all the fucking raised details and shit, scabbard that even has a chain hanging off of it, like it had in the show.
That's awesome.
Something that was never included on the original figure. Right?
Yeah.
It's actually got the fucking chain, and it looks like it's a properly fucking metal chain too, right? So you can have him all standing there, like, holding his fucking sword with the chain hanging down and looking all fucking badass. So I really, really want this.
That's cool.
Plus it comes with all the parts that one would expect for this. There was a formation of the other 4 Zords where they would, like, stick together on this thing and become, like, a flying, basically, chariot that the fucking Red Dragon in its robot mode can land on top of and ride to fucking victory.
Right.
They do include a plate that you can attach everything to that actually holds pretty fucking sturdy, as I've seen on some videos, so that you can do that form, or you can fucking have them all just laid out, or you can have them all combined together, or you can, of course, combine them with the Megazord.
Right.
So they'll mix and match and be all fucking badass, and I am really looking forward to getting it.
And that's available now?
It's out now. Not every store has it yet. It's Toys R Us exclusive, as any of the Legacy stuff is. So next time I'm out checking fucking Toys R Us, I'm gonna have to go look and see if they have it.
Yeah.
Because if they do, it's time for me to save some money and get that shit. I'm really excited. It's a great and terrible time to be a toy collector, because so many great things, so it's a fucking awesome time. Expensive as shit, so terrible time.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend so much money.
You need more room.
Oh no, fuck that. I've got plenty of room in there still.
For the big things, though?
Well, I mean, I say big. It's not that big.
Oh, is it really only that?
Yeah, it's the same size as my other Megazords.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, that's, yeah. Anyway, I think I've, again, rambled on enough about this.
That was interesting, though.
Yeah, I try. I'm gonna have to get you watching the rest of Die Ranger one of these days.
Yeah, we watched a couple episodes of that, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, well, it was cheesy as shit.
Yeah, it's great. And fucking things you don't even see in the American version, like puppets with guns.
Yeah, fucking puppets with guns. What the hell?
Anyways, that was good. Next segment.